Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. Treyarch have already teased the new zombies map coming at the mid-season point of Season 5, Rex Infernus. We'll talk about that in just a second, but let's actually start at the beginning of the zombies content summary here for what's coming up in the Black Ops 7 following month or so. Very briefly, zooming through this stuff, we'll be getting the Eadscarlan Lighthouse as a survival map, and we're also obviously getting the directed mode for Kawakujo. Those are going to be coming alongside the starting room for Kawakujo, which will be at launch. And then Rogue Run is also getting an update for Astra at launch. And I'm curious to get your opinions. I was away from home when Rogue Run launched. I think I was visiting SGF. I was at Summer Games Fest. And funnily enough, I actually met Jeff Keighley like a week ago in London. It was really cool to see him here for the premiere of The Odyssey, which I got to see early. Make sure you're following me on my socials, like link below in the description if you're not already, because that's where I post about that sort of stuff. But yeah, I met Jeff Keighley there and stuff, and it was great, but it did mean that I wasn't home when Rogue Run actually debuted. And I'm very curious what you guys think of it, whether you've been enjoying it, whether you think that it needs improvement. So far, I think I've seen mostly positive stuff, but yeah, be curious to see what you guys think in the comment section down below. Now, obviously, we can talk about Rex Infernus. So this is our first look at it. It goes without saying that they are really strongly pulling on the nostalgia heartstrings right now, because this is, of course, the house from Black Ops 3 Zombies. It is the house. We all probably remember my merch design of that house on the rock. It happens to be back, guys, and it's a little different this time around in that we've got these rocks here, and I forget the exact name of this kind of rock structure, but I believe it's like, is it the Devil's Causeway? Is that the name of the thing that I'm trying to think of? I feel like it's something like that. It's a real place that, yes, the Devil's Causeway has rocks of this sort of design. I mean, they're obviously not designed, it's a rock, but if you look at this, for instance, you can see these kind of hexagonal structures, these very interesting rock shapes that you get all over the place, and I think that inspires a lot of video games, which then also have these sorts of rock structures in position. So it's interesting to see that it's in the Dark Ether, presumably, with a lot of like obelisk-y type things in the background there. We've obviously got the chains of the Warden on the text, and it's kind of breaking apart also, which I actually really like. I think that something that we had to give a lot of feedback on for Black Ops 6 was that we wanted there to be map logos, right? And Treyarch locked in when they got that feedback, and I mean, they've delivered on it, so I'm grateful to them for that, and I do really like this design. It says here, the Warden's corruption runs deep in the final chapter of the Black Ops 7 Zombies narrative, as an all-new round-based Zombies map launches in the mid-season. Cleanse the Shadowsmith's places of power and arm yourself with a new wonder weapon, Gobblegum, Perca-Cola, and 2 more ultra-rarity legacy weapons to survive the ultimate confrontation. The final fight is almost here. Make your last stand count. So we're going to have to down ourselves for the boss, right, guys? I remember so clearly being on the way to First in the World Origins back in 2013, and my team being like, guys, for this final step, what if we have to down ourselves? Like, what if that's what we have to do, right? The fact that that is still haunting me to this day is crazy, but it certainly is. And I read this and I think, you know what, maybe. It's possible. We also have returning Perca-Cola, Gobblegum, and legacy weapons, which obviously they talked about a little bit there, but we've got more details. Widow's Wine, obviously very present there. And this says, discover new ways to turn the undead into mincemeat as the mid-season update delivers the Widow's Wine perk, fully packed Gobblegum, and the Olympia shotgun. Wow. They're making the Olympia an ultra-rarity weapon. Wow. The Olympia gang stays winning. That's all I'm going to say. and the TR2 marksman rifle as well. Get more intel on these features in the Season 5 Reloaded blog, arriving later in the season. Now, am I dumb? What is the TR2 marksman rifle? Like, it's a hard-hitting semi-auto marksman rifle. Compared to the FAL, it's a dominant meta weapon in Warzone and Black Ops 6. Oh. I couldn't even remember that was a thing, to be completely honest. I mean, to be fair, it does look FAL-like, so, yeah. But the much more iconic weapon here is the Olympia, like, hands down. Now, I am very curious how Widow's Wine is going to work in this game, because one of the things that Widow's Wine did in Black Ops 3 is it was really a power creep perk, I think, in a big way. When you have full Widow's stacks and you're just sort of hanging out, getting hit by zombies, it does make it significantly harder to die. And so it doesn't surprise me that they've waited until the end of the season to introduce this, or rather the end of the DLC season or the live service season. Obviously, it's not the end of the season, it's mid-season that it's coming out in. But that really doesn't surprise me. I think that that's smart timing because it is going to make all of the other maps probably quite significantly easier. And it's also going to be more zany for weird interactions with things. And so I feel like it's a good end-of-life perk to add to the mix. I'm all for that. I also am really curious, seeing as this is going to be a shotgun that's going to be ultra rarity, whether it's just going to be unbelievably overpowered for everything, because shotguns are always quite dominant in the meta in zombies, and they are so for good reason, because they can basically just insta-kill any zombie that runs in your way, or it's going to be like, at most, it's going to be 2 hits, and that really, really pays off massively in a mode where if something's running at you and it's in your way, you could just be dead if you don't kill it in a split second. So I'm curious if this is just going to become the absolute best gun in the game, or the rarity element of it is still going to mean that you can't rely on getting it regularly, and so you're going to kind of have to make other plans, and then if you get it, it's just like a nice treat. I wouldn't be surprised if that's Treyarch's ultimate goal. But yeah, that's Rex Infernus and the house. I'm extremely curious to see if we're going to get to go in the house, because it's pretty broken apart here. Specifically, the windows are broken. And what did we say about the windows in the house before? Remember? Yeah, remember? It's been a long time, but remember my videos from back in the day? Yeah? So, I mean, that's really exciting to me. The prospect of being able to go in and explore that space would be really, really cool. If they've got Samantha's toys in that little bedroom, if they've got those posters on the walls, it's gonna bring tears to my eyes, to be honest. Like, the actual nostalgia farm that is about to happen could be legendary and of a scale that we've literally never seen before in zombies. Because that house, it means something to me, man. And I hope that they treat it with the respect it deserves. But equally, I do worry a little bit that they're going to make the house like a new modern zombie story thing in a way that isn't actually that cool, I guess. Like, the old house had so much aura. The old radios that related to the house had so much aura. There is a part of me that is like a little worried that they might mess up the lore somehow, or like mess up what things meant back in the day, or like just not do it justice. But then again, the story's been pretty strong this year, so I guess I do have faith. So let me know, are you excited for the house, or do you just think it's nostalgia bait? I think I'm excited. Personally, I lean towards excited on this one. Really curious to see where they're going to actually go with it. Really curious to see if it's going to be a playable space. I hope that this map slaps, because Black Ops 7 ending on a high note would be awesome. I would be very, very in favor of that. So let me know what you think of all this in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time for more zombies videos. Bye for now.